I don't quite want to call it a mistake, but one bias or blind spot that I think a lot of people have is they try to pattern their success after people who have been really successful.
Yes.
And the problem is that most of the people that have been really successful are anomalous for one reason or another, or maybe for 10 reasons. So like if there's a kid out there who says, I like design and I like technology, I would like to be Steve Jobs. So let me read everything I can about him and try to do everything he did. Mm-hmm. That should work, right? And I think that's a prima facie a spurious idea. But beyond that, whenever you're dealing with anomalies, people who have been super, super, super successful, you have to appreciate how rare that is. And there's a counterpoint to that, which is this. And I learned this when I was studying writing. So after I quit playing music, I wanted to, I didn't know exactly what kind of writing I wanted to do, whether it was academic, be a professor, write in journalism, and so on. So I went to graduate school, and I got an MFA in fiction writing at Columbia, which was a great experience for me. And I learned there that among many other things is that it was a lot harder, at least for me, to learn writing from great writing than it was to learn from really shitty writing.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay.
Because when things are really good, if you read a great book or listen to a great piece of music or even look at a great athlete, there's a kind of natural inclination to want to copy it or mimic it. And like I said a few minutes ago, all the forces and inputs that went into producing that, there are A, a lot of inputs, and B, some of them you're not going to have, and C, there are these elements of randomness and luck.
Right.
So if I read, a novel that I think is a great novel, it's Dostoevsky or Philip Roth or whatever, Donna Tartt, whatever I think is this great book I've read, and then say, oh, this is my model, this is what I should pattern myself on, there's just all kinds of reasons why that can't or won't work, including the fact that it's going to take you away from being your best natural version of yourself. On the other hand, if you read really bad stuff and you look at failures, right. I think there's a tremendous amount to be learned by failure. So first of all, we do try to celebrate failure to some degree in this new book. Not failure qua failure, but because, it's an experiment. You need to fail and move on to know what's going to work. But with something like writing or with sports or with just patterning your life on somebody else's, I think if you can look at the mistakes, the things that don't work, I think it's a lot easier to not do the terrible things than it is to try to do the amazing things.